It's fascinating how the simplest parts of our body hold some of the most profound mysteries. Take the head. For instance, we often think of it as just the top of the body, the place where our eyes, mouth, and ears sit. But what if I told you that ancient cultures and spiritual traditions viewed it as something far more significant? Not just a biological necessity, but a sacred connection to the universe. A hub for divine wisdom that's not poetic fluff. It's a belief deeply rooted in human history and spiritual thought. Before we move on, hit the like button below. It keeps us motivated to bring you even better content. Let's dive in. When you dig into ancient texts, you'll see that the head was often revered as the center of higher wisdom. Egyptian hieroglyphs, Hindu scriptures, and even Western philosophical writings talk about the head as a vessel for enlightenment. In those times, people believed that wisdom didn't just come from experience or learning. It was something channeled through this sacred gateway. It wasn't random. They saw the head as a mediator between the earthly and the divine. Think about it. In countless traditions, the head is symbolically elevated. It's where crowns sit, marking authority and divine favor in spiritual practices. It's the focal point for enlightenment, where energy centers, like the crown chakra in Eastern traditions, are said to open a pathway to higher understanding. The concept of the Sala Superior, or upper room, across cultures ties directly to this idea. It represents a plane of elevated awareness and thought. The ancients didn't call it the heavenly room for nothing. What's even more compelling is how the head mirrors the cosmos. The brain, with its intricate neural networks, is often seen as a microcosm of the universe. It's not just metaphorical, it's anatomical and even philosophical. The brain processes infinite inputs, organizes them, and creates a reality that's unique to each of us. Ancient thinkers saw this as proof of our connection to the vastness of existence. Your brain isn't just your control center. It's a reflection of something much larger. Then there's the idea of the head as a temple. This goes beyond the physical structure. It's about seeing the head as a sacred space, a place where divine thought resides. It's where reasoning, creativity, and spiritual insight converge. Think of the Corpus Callosum, the neural bridge that links the two hemispheres of the brain. It's not just a bundle of fibers. It's a bridge between worlds, connecting logic with intuition, the tangible with the abstract. It's a profound metaphor, but it's also a literal reality. The Corpus Callosum is fascinating in its own right. It's a dense, robust structure that allows the brain's hemispheres to talk to each other. Without it, you wouldn't be able to integrate logic and creativity effectively. And while that might sound like science, it's deeply spiritual. Too many see it as the physical representation of balance. A bridge not just between left and right brain functions, but between human and divine consciousness. Speaking of hemispheres, let's break them down. The left side of your brain is all about logic. It's the side that keeps things structured and orderly. It processes language, analyzes data, and makes sense of the details. This hemisphere is why you can plan your day, solve a puzzle, or make logical decisions. It's a powerhouse of reason. But here's the catch. Leaning too heavily on logic can make you rigid. It's like living in a box where every decision has to fit within strict parameters. Useful, absolutely limiting. Also, yes, on the flip side, the right hemisphere thrives on intuition. It's the creative powerhouse. This is where your imagination runs wild, where you interpret abstract concepts, and where you connect emotionally to art and music. It's also where your spiritual takes root, when you feel something deeply, but can't explain why. That's your right brain at work. But again, there's a balance to be struck. Too much reliance on intuition can leave you scattered, unable to ground yourself in tangible reality. Now let's circle back to how these two sides connect. The corpus callosum is the unsung hero here. It ensures that your logical and intuitive minds don't just coexist, but collaborate. It's why you can dream up a big idea and then figure out how to make it happen. Without that bridge, your brain would feel like two people trying to have a conversation through a wall. And spiritually, this bridge symbolizes something even greater. The unity of opposites, the harmony between reason and creativity, the tangible and the transcendent. This integration isn't just about making your brain work better, it's about achieving a deeper awareness of yourself and your place in the world. When the two hemispheres work in harmony, you're not just solving problems or creating art, you're tapping into a higher state of being. This balance fosters insight, self-awareness, and a sense of purpose. It's not just about thinking smarter, it's about living more fully. The head, often seen as the physical apex of the human body takes on an entirely different dimension. When we delve into its spiritual implications in various mythologies and religious systems, it's portrayed as a portal not in a metaphorical sense, but as a genuine gateway to higher realms. This symbolism positions the head as a bridge between the tangible and the ethereal, emphasizing its role as a mediator in the spiritual journey. In many ancient traditions, the idea of the inner heaven becomes central. This isn't about a place in the sky, but an internal state of consciousness achieved through spiritual practices and personal transformation. The head is often the focal point in these processes, with its anatomy and function, reflecting the intricate balance between the earthly and the divine by centering practices like meditation on the head. Practitioners attempt to tap into this inner heaven, aligning themselves with a higher level of existence. Beyond its physiological role, the head is perceived as sacred space. This view stems from its unique position as the seat of thought, perception, and understanding in many rituals and spiritual practices. The focus on the head isn't arbitrary. Whether it's the application of sacred substances, the use of sound frequencies, or the visualization of divine light. These actions recognize the head's dual role as a biological organ and a spiritual vessel. Practices that emphasize mindfulness or visualization often begin and end here, treating it as the nucleus of spiritual alignment. When we examine the role of rituals and spiritual practices centered on the head, a clear pattern emerges. Practices like mindfulness and meditation aim to quiet the mind and sharpen awareness, fostering a direct connection to something greater than oneself. These aren't merely relaxation techniques. They are methods to elevate the mind to a state where it can interact with higher dimensions. From the chanting of mantras to the visualization of celestial symbols, the head serves as both the starting point and the destination for spiritual elevation. This focus on the head as a spiritual portal also offers practical benefits, particularly for mental health. Viewing the head not just as a physical entity, but as a bridge to spiritual understanding promotes well-being. The simple act of treating it with reverence, whether through meditation, prayer, or other practices, can foster emotional balance and mental clarity. This dual perspective brings together ancient spiritual wisdom and contemporary psychological practices, creating a holistic approach to health and wellness. The Corpus Callosum is integral to this dialogue. Beyond its physical role as a neural bridge, it embodies the concept of unity. By connecting the logical, structured left hemisphere with the intuitive, creative right hemisphere, it acts as a divine mediator within the brain. This connection isn't just functional, it's deeply symbolic. It reflects the broader unity found in spiritual traditions, where dualities like light and dark, reason and intuition come together in harmony. When viewed through this lens, the Corpus Callosum becomes more than a physical structure. It's a bridge that mirrors the spiritual idea of crossing between realms, just as a physical bridge connects distant shores. This neural bridge facilitates the merging of distinct modes of thought. This blending isn't just neurological, it's transformative, enabling individuals to access higher states of consciousness where reason and intuition coexist seamlessly. Its role in the spiritual journey is significant by linking logical analysis with creative insight. It helps individuals navigate the complexities of life with a balanced perspective. This integration allows for a deeper understanding of oneself and the universe, fostering a sense of harmony that extends beyond the individual to influence relationships, decision-making, and personal growth. The unity symbolized by the Corpus Callosum parallels divine interconnectedness in spiritual terms. It reflects the belief that all things are fundamentally connected. The seamless communication it enables within the brain mirrors the universal principle of unity, reinforcing the idea that opposites don't just coexist, but complement each other. This perspective isn't abstract. It's grounded in both the physical workings of the brain and the spiritual insights derived from ancient traditions. This connection becomes even clearer when we explore its importance in achieving illumination through the integration facilitated by the Corpus Callosum. Individuals can reach elevated states of consciousness. These aren't fleeting moments of clarity, but profound experiences of spiritual awakening, where the mind transcends its usual boundaries to access deeper truths. This path to illumination isn't about abandoning logic or intuition, but merging them into a cohesive whole. The allegory of Moses parting the Red Sea serves as a compelling parallel to the function of the Corpus Callosum in the biblical narrative the sea represents. A barrier, a chaotic division that must be crossed to reach freedom. Similarly, the Corpus Callosum divides yet connects the brain's hemispheres, creating a pathway for mental and spiritual liberation. This crossing isn't easy. It requires intention and effort, but the rewards are transformative. The Red Sea's turbulent waters symbolize the internal struggle between logic and intuition, just as Moses led his people through these challenges. Individuals must navigate their own consciousness to find balance. The journey isn't just about survival, it's about transformation. By crossing this internal sea, guided by the bridge of the Corpus Callosum, individuals move closer to a state of spiritual freedom and self-realization. The layers of symbolism in the Bible often go unnoticed, but they reveal a deep interconnection between spirituality and the human anatomy, especially the brain. One striking parallel is the correspondence between the 12 disciples of Jesus and the 12 cranial nerves. This isn't just an abstract analogy, it points to how the physical and the spiritual are intertwined, emphasizing the brain's role in guiding perception, both worldly and divine. Each of the 12 cranial nerves controls a specific function such as vision, hearing, or facial movement. These functions mirror the disciples' roles as spiritual guides and messengers. For instance, just as the optic nerve provides sight, certain disciples are described as offering spiritual clarity. The auditory nerve parallels the ability to listen to divine wisdom. This alignment suggests that our physical senses serve not only to navigate the world, but also to engage with higher truths. The connection deepens when we examine the upper room where pivotal moments in Jesus' ministry occurred. This space is metaphorically linked to the frontal lobe of the brain, the center of higher reasoning, decision-making, and moral insight. Just as the upper room was a site of revelation and transformation for the disciples, the frontal lobe represents the mind's capacity to transcend mundane thought and access profound understanding. The frontal lobe's significance in spiritual experiences cannot be overstated. Neuroscience reveals that moments of intense spiritual insight often coincide with heightened activity in this area. These experiences, whether they manifest as a sudden clarity about life's purpose or a deep connection to the divine, reflect the brain's capacity to serve as a vessel for transformation. This isn't mere coincidence. It's a testament to the biological and spiritual synergy within us by integrating biblical symbols with an understanding of the brain. We uncover pathways to personal and spiritual growth. The symbols act as maps guiding us toward an elevated state of consciousness where reason, intuition, and spirituality converge. Recognizing this allows us to see the Bible not just as a religious text, but as a blueprint for exploring the depths of human potential. This exploration continues when we examine the transformative potential of the corpus callosum. Its role in linking the brain's hemispheres mirrors the spiritual journey of harmonizing logic and intuition as the physical bridge between the analytical left brain and the creative right brain. It enables an internal dialogue essential for personal growth. The impact of this integration on daily life is profound. Consider the challenges of balancing structured decision-making with creative problem-solving. The corpus callosum facilitates this by ensuring both hemispheres contribute equally. This harmony fosters innovative thinking, emotional intelligence, and resilience qualities essential for navigating a complex world. Transformation through integration doesn't occur passively. It requires intentional practices that stimulate the corpus callosum and promote hemispheric balance. Meditation is a powerful tool in this regard, creating a state of coherence where logic and creativity flow seamlessly. Mindfulness further sharpens this connection by anchoring the mind in the present, encouraging a balanced perspective. Visualization exercises take this a step further, focusing attention on the corpus callosum as a conduit of energy and insight. By imagining light or energy flowing through this neural bridge, individuals can strengthen its connectivity and enhance mental harmony. These practices don't just improve cognitive function. They open doors to spiritual awakening by aligning the brain's mechanics with higher states of awareness. Breathing techniques also play a crucial role. Deep, intentional breathing calms the nervous system, facilitating communication between the hemispheres. This simple yet powerful practice creates a ripple effect, enhancing clarity, focus, and spiritual connection over time. These practices cultivate a state of integrated consciousness where the mind operates at its fullest potential. The biblical metaphor of transformation, such as Moses parting the Red Sea, aligns closely with this neurological integration, just as Moses led his people across turbulent waters to freedom. The journey across the Corpus Callosum represents crossing the divide between rationality and intuition. This crossing isn't merely functional, it's deeply symbolic of liberation and wholeness. The act of balancing logic and intuition is a form of spiritual alchemy. It transforms the fragmented self into a unified being, capable of navigating both the tangible and the transcendent. This process mirrors the structure of the brain itself, where distinct regions work together to create a cohesive experience of reality. Understanding the brain as a microcosm of the universe opens new perspectives on our potential, just as the cosmos operates through interconnected systems. The brain mirrors this complexity, offering a model for how harmony can emerge from diversity. This reflection invites individuals to see themselves as integral parts of a larger whole, fostering a sense of connection and purpose. The brain isn't just a control center, it's a canvas where reality is painted. Every thought, perception, and emotion shapes the way we experience the world. By consciously engaging with this process, individuals can rewrite their mental scripts, creating a life that aligns with their highest aspirations. This journey of self-discovery and awakening is an invitation to unlock the brain's full potential. Practices that integrate logic and intuition don't just enhance mental performance, they nurture the soul. They offer a pathway to understanding the inner heaven described in spiritual traditions, a state where the mind and spirit align in harmony. If this content resonated with you and made you think differently, subscribe to the channel. Don't let this opportunity slip away. Take control of your journey. Your next step is yours to take.